Hello, this is the first in a new video series where I'm doing coaching on boards that I've seen that have interesting board textures or combinations of cards or just ways that you can make cool stuff come out of the kingdom. This is a kingdom I saw today between Eureka and Super Duper. I'm going to play this out against the bot and show you what I am thinking on this kingdom here. So the first thing to note is there's no villages. Really, there is Gamble, and Gamble can be a village, but it's sort of an important thing to note. You kind of want to build up this engine where you have wharves, and you're playing a bunch of wharves and Dens of Sin, and maybe you play Pirate or Bandit for payload, and you can use Goatherd and Sailor for thinning, and everything goes great, except you can only play one wharf a turn, and you can't play a wharf and a bandit in the same turn. You can't play a wharf and a pirate in the same turn. So that makes it really awkward to get the engine to work. One of the really strong things here we can do is gamble. So if we have a bunch of good cards in our discard pile or our draw pile, we can gamble through them. However, we cannot gamble into Den. And while we can gamble into Wharf, we then draw 2 cards dead, which we don't really want to do. So the deck archetype I'm going to look at here involves no Wharves, no Dens of Sin, and entirely using gamble as draw. On the 5-2 split, we kind of almost want, you kind of almost automatically click Wharf here, but because I'm not going for the Wharf deck, I'm actually going to somewhat oddly click on Pirate. I would much rather have Pirate as a terminal in my deck, especially because if my opponent activates it, I can play multiple terminals in the same turn, and I can gamble through to it, and it gains the gold to my hand, which lets me do more gamble stuff. I can actually believe that on the first 5, perhaps Bandit is better on the 5-2 split, so I'm actually going to try to do Bandit, and then we will just immediately gamble to make sure we see the Bandit turn 3. And we get Cutpurse attacked, which is pretty annoying. I think we'll buy 1 silver now. And I think this is worth gambling. There's 2 estates, so there's a 1 in 4 chance we hit an estate, but we can also hit a gold or the Bandit, which is pretty nice. And we hit 4 here, and now we just take a Sailor. We want to start thinning. I think we're probably going to take another Sailor now. So we'll get ourselves another gold. And given that we have 2 Sailors and a Bandit down there, I'm going to gamble once. Okay, we do hit a Sailor, which is nice. And I'm going to take a mission here. I can thin a copper, and now I'm just going to use all of my money on this mission turn because I can't buy anything. I can use it all to get through, find the Sailor, and have a nice turn here. This is 4. I think I'm going to do the mission trick again. And we'll just gamble a bunch of times here. And as we see now that we started adding golds to the deck, the gambling is all of a sudden much more effective. We're able to churn our way through this deck. I think this is so many of our bad cards, and we have a gold and a bandit and another sailor down there that we can just kind of go into this discard pile. As you see, we're able to get through almost the entire deck here. Thin a couple of coppers because coppers are draw negative and gamble. I'd really like to trash some of these estates, but that doesn't seem like it's happening here. This turn, let's see what turn this is. This is turn 8. We're already kind of nearing the point where we could start doing some thinning. I'm pretty sure I have 1 more estate down here, but I think that last card is an estate. I consider buying a messenger now, so I can thin. I can also just stop in here and buy a pirate. I think I want to have another way to gain golds in this shuffle. But as we can already see, it's turn 8. I have played this bandit I bought on turn 1 5 times already, and I'm gambling through my deck pretty reliably already on turn 8. So consider buying this. I'm also considering buying like a messenger as just a way to add plus buy to the deck, but I think adding a pirate will help the deck quite a bit here. So I'm going to add 1 pirate. And we can already take a mission, I think. Doesn't seem unreasonable here. We can also gamble once. I'm pretty happy to gamble once. What is it? 3 estates out of 13. So that's something I can look at doing. If I hit an estate, I just gamble again. So I didn't hit. I hit a silver. And I'm up to 6 now, so I can actually afford to absorb an estate hit. And I will take the mission here. And again, we're just gambling through. The idea is to get the other sailor in play as well as the pirate. And we have a bunch of golds down in this discard pile. Okay, we did hit an estate, and that ended our turn. I believe these bottom 2 cards are Bottom two cards are both estates, but we have so much money here. Oh, only one of them is... Nope, neither of our estates. I'm not tracking my deck. But, as you see here, I can effectively now gamble through my entire deck. Play the Bandit. Play the Sailor. I'm at the end of the deck. I buy a province. I can even thin some coppers. And again, I've got so many golds that gambling is netting me money. And every shuffle, I'm adding in more pieces to the deck. I will stop here and buy a province. No, I have a bandit and a pirate down there, so I'm going to actually play on here with 6. We'll just get through to this bandit, and I think I'll take a mission here. Gain a gold. Slightly awkward. We kind of drew all the money, but we can, I think, reliably just gamble all the way to the end of the deck now. With the amount of money density that we have, we can get the Sailor into play, we can get the green cards out of the way, and we can just kind of see this is how the gamble archetype works. And we actually made it all the way through to the end. Don't trash. And now that we have money for province, we gamble a couple times just to see if we can get the pirate in play. And now we buy a province. Again, we're still happy to thin coppers. We're going to gain golds. Maybe you can gain a second relic along the way. It certainly seems possible. But the amount of golds we've added at this point mean we can just pretty reliably gamble all the way through our deck and into the discard pile and see everything, get to a clean shuffle with the Sailor in play, with a pirate in play, whatever things we need to happen, and then gain a province here. And we're just adding in so many golds that this deck is able to actually net coins as we gamble through it. And every shuffle we're adding in 1 or 2 more golds with the Bandit and the Pirate. I played this out earlier, and I added in a couple of pirates. The only key is when you do hit 8, at some point you have to decide to play on or stop. It looks like here we're actually able to get all the way through the shuffle, get the Relic in play, get the Sailor in play, and buy a province. Sailor don't trash. We'll gain another gold. And as we see here, we're able to buy the 5th province on turn 15. So I think that's a pretty good illustration of how the gamble archetype works there. I added in no wharves. It's kind of nice with the 5-2 bandit. On the 4-3, I think I'm adding in like Sailor gold. Maybe there's a line where you add in Sailor Goatherd to just thin a little bit faster, but this is the deck in general. We never quite did get to all the estates, but it didn't matter. We had 17 golds on turn 15, and that is how the gamble deck archetype works. Any questions from the chat or people who are listening in live to include in the video? Okay, this was the first kingdom then. The original game, if I pull up the log here, and the game number you saw at the beginning. Pulling up the log now at game. So the original game was 12 turns, and one of the players resigned. So neither player had bought province at the time. So the quality of this deck is such that I think I'm able to beat most of the strategies, and the problem the players were having is they wanted to both add in trashing with bandits and wharves and sailors, and they kind of, got a little bit lost in the complications. They also didn't get to take advantage of mission, which I was able to take advantage of with this strategy, because if all I want to do in a turn is gain 1 or 2 golds, then I can mission and gain those golds and get a sailor in play for the next turn. Okay, thank you for listening in. Leave me a comment if you have any questions on this kingdom, and there will be more kingdoms after this.